So we're running live.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. In the capacity of the chair of FICCI Tourism Committee, UP State Council, and the member of the National Committee for Travel, Tourism and Hospitality, I welcome all of you this afternoon. I'm delighted to inform you that we are in the 6th edition of the series of webinars, Being Tourism Ready, hosted by Government of Uttar Pradesh, Department of Tourism, MKITM and FICCI. This series, ladies and gentlemen, was inaugurated on 20th of July by the Honorable Minister of Tourism and Culture, Government of Uttar Pradesh, Dr. Neelkant Tiwari, and the Principal Secretary Tourism
on the web for on 20th
and Culture, Mr. Mukesh Mishra. The topic of today's webinar is Kushinagar, a destination in the making. And to talk on this, we have a very illustrious panel that includes Mr. S. Rajalingam, District Magistrate, Kushinagar, Uttar Pradesh, Mr. Avinash Chandra Misra, Joint Director, Tourism, Government of Uttar Pradesh, Mr. Purna Bora, who's the Joint Magistrate and SDM, Kushinagar. We have Khan Nunchan Pintam, the President of NC Tours, joining us from Thailand. And also, we have Mr. Tarit Kishore Roy, who's the member of Kushinagar Temple Area Management Committee, and Mr. Himanshu Shekhar, a research scholar from Kushinagar. I welcome all of you this afternoon and all the 4,418 participants who have joined us live on different platforms today. Ladies and gentlemen, for tourists who follow the trail of Buddhism in India and are influenced by the teaching of Lord Buddha, Uttar Pradesh has been amongst the most important place for them in the country. Kushinagar is the most important part of the entire Buddhist circuit, or let's say Buddhism, as it was here where Lord Buddha attained Mahaparinirvana after his death. But very few know that Kushinagar is much more than just the place where Lord Buddha attained Mahaparinirvana, and that the destination is important beyond Buddhism too. The government of Uttar Pradesh is looking at Kushinagar with high hopes and has done a huge amount of work in and around Kushinagar. While we sit and discuss Kushinagar today, a direct flight from Kushinagar to Kathmandu and to Bhairwa in Nepal is ready to operate from its newly built Kushinagar International Airport, which I'm sure will be talked more about by the district magistrate and the joint magistrate of Kushinagar, who are the people who are actually involved in this project very closely. All this and more is happening in Kushinagar. Is still sadly, Kushinagar gets only one night from Buddhist tourists, though it deserves much more. This session intends to bring out the character of this destination, all the developments in and around, and above all the opportunities of investments in tourism that exist in and around Kushinagar. As I mentioned earlier in my previous webinar, Uttar Pradesh has been working hard, really very hard, on tourism and has realized that the huge potential that the state has for tourism. In 2018, Uttar Pradesh government came up with a very futuristic tourism policy that has attracted huge investments in the state, and the state and it has actually become an example of planned tourism development for many other states in India to take clues from. The policy not only incentivizes tourism projects, but also pays huge attention to employment generation, participation of women in tourism, and skilling youth for tourism, and much more than that, actually. The policy is quite holistic in nature and deals with rural, agriculture, ecological, urban, adventure, all in equal measure. As a result, tourism in Uttar Pradesh is emerging as an economic equalizer, is spreading benefits in all regions of the state. In 2019, the state of Uttar Pradesh attracted 53.6 crore domestic tourists, which was a sweeping 23.1% of domestic tourist share of India. The international figures, too, were no less encouraging and stood at about 47.5 lakhs. Industry is very eagerly looking forward to the inbound movement opening soon. So this is just the right time to gear up, and we are in the phase of getting tourism ready. And all of us, the industry, the government, and the industry is being supported wholeheartedly by the government, even at the micro level, the district level, the tehsil level, for tourism. We do realize that the opening of the borders will not just magically happen, and the influx will not just flood us with the traffic, but it will be a trickle that will come to India in phases. But I believe Buddhist countries in Asia will be the first ones to pour in, and primarily Uttar Pradesh will benefit the most as they get the most from the Buddhist Asian countries. I'm personally seeing a few reasons that make me optimistic about the market opening up earlier. The travel distance is short and the flights are economical from these countries into India. And I believe religious travel or religious tourism will be the first to restart, as it is the way of life, which has been waiting since long. If not earlier, at least we are contemplating it all to begin by the beginning of 2022. Possibly people want to be blessed in the land of Lord Buddha after the most devastating almost 2 years. Another reason is that the vaccinations will almost be complete internationally and would have reached substantial levels, figures in India too, which is on a fast track of vaccination. Thus, such travel on a short haul will be a great way to test waters before tourists start plunging into long haul destination. Coming back to Kushinagar, the topic of the day, having visited Kushinagar myself very recently, and all thanks to the district magistrate, Mr. S. Rajalingam, and the joint magistrate, Mr. Purna Bora, for inviting me over and showing it more intricately than I saw it earlier ever. I realized it is a destination that deserves much more than just one night. But in absence of enough knowledge, we only use it for a night, rather just for a few hours, I would say. And in my opinion, and based on my research, an excursion, the destination can always be converted into a major tourist destination for at least 2 nights, if not more, if we are able to properly divide our day as a pre-breakfast, early sunrise activities, then post-breakfast, pre-lunch activities, post-lunch, pre-dinner activities, and dinner and post-dinner activities. So it's a kind of an entire day which can be spread in a destination, and it will force somehow the tourist to make a 2-night stop at a destination. Uttar Pradesh, being a huge state and with plenty of attractions, and in all spheres, it is always a good idea to do a lot of district level micro planning. Precisely that is what Kushinagar is doing. And the credit for this micro planning goes to its district magistrate, Mr. S. Rajalingam, and the SDM, Mr. Purna Bora, and of course the entire team who have taken up the task to transform Kushinagar and make it attractive enough for at least 2 nights of a stay. And of course, an equal credit of a robust support that tourism policy is giving and the Department of Tourism, Government of Uttar Pradesh is giving. Now, before I bring in guests and panelists from Kushinagar and Thailand, let me bring in Mr. Avinash Chandra Misra, Joint Director, Tourism, Government of Uttar Pradesh, Department of Tourism. Mr. Avinash Chandra Misra holds MPhil in psychology and is a trained psychologist. He has graduated from the Indian Institute of Forest Management and interestingly is a trained rock climber and a player of badminton. Mr. Misra has very successfully organized the 350 years celebration of Taj Mahal in Agra and has been organizing Deepotsav in Ayodhya, which has become Uttar Pradesh's much awaited landmark calendar event. Presently, Mr. Misra is overseeing Varanasi's Kashi Vishwanath corridor development and, more recently, the upcoming Vindhyachal corridor project. May I now request Mr. Misra to you to kindly unmute your microphone and give your opening remarks on the subject.
Thank you, Pratik ji. Before starting, I like to thank S. Rajlingam sir, District Magistrate Kushinagar, Purnabora sir, Joint Magistrate Kushinagar, Miss Noon Chan Pin Tam, MD NC Tours Thailand, Mr. Himanshu Shekhar, Research Scholar Kushinagar, Mr. Roy, and of course, Pratik ji. Today's topic is Kushinagar decision in the making. As we know that we are aware that Buddhism is one of the largest religion being followed in the world, and UP is known as the cradle of Buddhism. We have, although almost most of the Buddha lived most of his lifetime in Uttar Pradesh, and we have important places like Sarnath, Kapilvastu, Kushinagar, Shravasti, Kaushambi, and Sankesa. But when we call it as its importance among the Buddhists, the most four important sites are Sarnath, Kushinagar, Bodh Gaya, and Lumbini. And out of these four, two are in Uttar Pradesh. And Kushinagar, in my opinion, Kushinagar didn't get its share as in comparison to Bodh Gaya and Sarnath. So, in a crude SWOT analysis, what was in my mind, the strength of this place is it's a place where Lord Buddha attained Mahaparinirvana, a very important site according to Buddhism followers, because in their teaching, Mahaparinirvana is more important than birth or any other activity. The weakness of this place, why it is not well promoted earlier, I think it's poor connectivity and lacking in promotion also, and poor infrastructure or lacking in infrastructure, not in Kushinagar, but on the connecting roads which are connecting it to the either from Nepal or from Varanasi. Nowadays, the opportunity with this place is international airport is coming up, and good roads are also coming up. And nowadays, government is also interested in developing the Buddhist site. Like we have already spent 10.5 crores in Kushinagar. And again, under the World Bank Pro-Poor scheme, we are again going to spend 28 crores in Kushinagar. So the threat for development is just because of its opportunity, the international airport is coming up, the government has a lot of money. Haphazard development may come up, and this place is important merely for Buddhism. If we were going to develop any activity apart from Buddhism, we must do it in a controlled way, and we must do any activity apart from Buddhism out of the core area. The core area should be left only for Buddhism activities, like a museum is also Government of India is also thinking put up a museum over there just to showcase the remains of Lord Buddha. And we are also proposing a Buddha walk of connecting all the sites in Kushinagar. And light and sound show is not presently, it's not a very viable project, but museum and Buddha walk and other activities like putting up developing the Buddha walk with good signages and audio guides, digital audio guides for backpackers. So and also one more thing, Vipassana. Vipassana is very popular in Buddhism. So we also restrict our to these activities. For other activities, we go into the buffer zone, and under our policy, we have given a very good incentive to the investors, like on their capital investment we are giving a 50% subsidy with a capping of 10 crores for new hotels, new units, new resorts. Stamp duty exemption is there. Conversion and development charges will be waived off. And few smaller subsidies, like we are incentivizing the ICT innovations. We are incentivizing training institutes who are training guides or hoteliers for that place. So I would like to, from this platform, I would like to invite the investors to invest in Buddhist Circuit, especially in Kushinagar, to make it a world-class destination. Apart from this, I would like also to get help from the tour operators to organize fam tours, not only for tour operators, but for the decision makers from Asian countries or Southeast Asian countries, the high priests from different monasteries, because they are the force. They just change the perception of they just you can say they just can market our Buddhist circuit in better way than we could do from tourism. So it's my sincere request to the tour operators to we will certainly handhold this initiative, but we need a proper proposal from either from FICCI or from IATO to organize fam tour for decision makers, for the Buddhist monks. 3 years back, when we were in Jata, Japan Travel Mart, there was we met with different tour operators, and they requested us to organize fam tours for these high priests from different temples, because they are the decision makers. And we also facilitated 2 or 3 groups after that mart, but after during the COVID, now it's again after this pandemic, we have to start it again. And certainly government of UP, Department of Tourism, will be handholding to any this type of effort, just to promote tourism in Buddhist circuit, on especially Kushinagar. At last, I'm thankful to Rajlingam sir and Purna Bora sir for taking out their time for this initiative of FICCI and IATO of this unique series of webinars. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Krishna. So FICCI commits itself for whatever you plan to do, and Mr. Rajlingam also had the opinion for organizing a fan tour of the investors to come in and a kind of a meet investors, and FICCI is on that platform with you in that regard. But this is also the right platform to, because you are also taking care of Varanasi. So let me put a point across that there is a special Buddhist train, familiarization train, which will be reaching Varanasi with host of tour operators from India. And this would be the right platform for the state government to give a presentation on other places other than Sarnath. Of course, they are coming for Sarnath thing, but then Kushinagar and even Shravasti and other Buddhist places, Kosambi, which are lesser, I won't say that they are in any manner lesser in the series of the places for Buddhist tourism, but they should be promoted, and a kind of a small presentation can be given for Kushinagar, and I'm sure Mr. Rajlingam will help you in terms of getting this presentation across. And when these operators are reaching Varanasi, they should be told about Kushinagar and all the kind of developments that are going in and around that. So with that note, thank you for your remarks. But now may I bring two panelists together to talk about Kushinagar as a tourist destination, because we as operators, we as investors know not much about the destination. So we have with us today Mr. Tarit Kishore Roy and Mr. Himanshu Shekhar. Mr. Roy facilitates Buddhist programs, pilgrimage, and monastic activities in Kushinagar. And he himself is a Vipassana meditator and a trainer. He runs a cafe in Kushinagar and a non-profit organization with a motto, help all, hurt none. Tarit is a world's peace campaigner and his speech through One Souls recently won the hearts of many peace seekers in the world. Tarit has served as a school teacher in one of the best schools of Kathmandu before settling back in his hometown, Kushinagar, while another speaker on the same platform is Mr. Himanshu Shekhar, who is a Kushinagar boy, a researcher scholar in tourism management from Indira Gandhi National Tribal University. He's MBA in travel and tourism management from Banaras Hindu University, and interestingly has completed world's longest entrepreneurial train journey called Jagriti Yatra. Himanshu has been working for upliftment of tourism in Kushinagar since 2018 and runs his own startup. He and Mr. Roy both are members of Kushinagar Temple Area Management Committee, overseeing the activities in Kushinagar. May I now request both of you to please tell us about Kushinagar and introduce us to this lovely destination. Over to you, Tarit and Himanshu.
Thank you, Pratik sir. Respected Joint Director sir, DM sir, SDM sir, Madam from Thailand, Himanshu. Kushinagar is a land where the blessed Tathagata Gautam Buddha attained Mahaparinirvana. Kushinagar is the place where there are 7 most important sacred sites, and there are 9 most important events took place in Kushinagar. Blessed Tathagata Gautam Buddha, at the age of 80 years, after 45 years of his teachings to the India for the upliftment of human morality and world peace, he started his last journey from Vaisali and reached Pavanagar, where he stayed a night in Chunda's mango grove. The place is now under development. And next morning, he had his last meal offered by Chunda in that place. Pavanagar is 15 kilometers east of Kushinagar. Chunda offered the last meal, which contained Sakar Madhava, but Buddha knew the Sakar Madhava would be the reason for his enlightenment. So Buddha made a condition with Chunda that Sakar Madhava only I will take, and none of my Sangha members will take it. If you agree with this condition, River Kakuta, and he washed his robe. He took a rest there for a while. Then he drank water. Then next again he started walking towards west and reached Kushinagar. After reaching Kushinagar, he sat at Mathakur. He drank his last sip of water brought from river Hirnavati. Then he sent Ananda. He said, Ananda, you go and inform the royal Mallas that I wish to take Nirvana in their royal Sala garden. If you don't inform them, they will say, without informing us, Buddha attained Nirvana. So Ananda informed the royal Mallas, all the royals, all the people of Kushinagar gathered, and Buddha entered in the royal garden, Sala garden of Kushinagar, where the Nirvana temple is now situated. Among the 4 Sala tree, Buddha, and when Subha heard him, he taught the last lesson to Chuma, and thus the last disciple. And Subhadra attained Nirvana before Buddha. After that, Buddha referred to the behold, monks, this is my last words, work diligent to accomplish your goal. But saying these last words, Buddha attained Mahaparinirvana. Mahaparinirvana at the back temple, there's a stupas. After Mahaparinirvana, the holy body was taken to Buddha Ghat, and it was given bath by the holy river of Virinabhati. 500 times they wrapped with cotton, as Buddha wanted that just to be done, king of the kings. And then his body was laid over the sandalwood, and Mallas, royal Mallas, tried to light the body. It could not be. And at the same time, there was Buddha's cousin, Anirudh, whose third eye was open. They asked Anirudh, what happened? Why we are unable to light the body?
I think they have a low bandwidth, Mr. Roy and Himanshu. Your bandwidth is quite low, so
Okay.
we are missing your.
Can you hear?
Yeah, I think if
Can you hear now?
yes, you can switch off your camera and go on speaking, and try not to share
Okay.
the screen, and switch off just the camera and just keep your mic open.
स्विच ऑफ करके कैमरा बात करो, वो ऑडियो सुनो, वीडियो में वीडियो बंद करो. Okay.
Yes, now you
So,
speak.
can you hear now? Is
Yes,
that
yes,
okay?
now you speak.
Yes. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So after that, when Mahakashyapa with 500 monks reached near the feet of the Buddha and prayed to Buddha so that he can continue the next and Sangha peacefully, he can lead it nicely. So Buddha's feet touched his forehead and blessed him. And as soon as Buddha blessed him, he was very happy. He took the torch. When he touched the torch, the body was automatic. And when he was come, it was rain. The relics of Buddha were from that Ramappa now, Mutubba, all that stupa. From there, and it was Malla's council hall. 7 they came here, 6 were distributed kings by the morning. So this place is still there, at least. Now, this Kushinagar, actually, we have main Buddha's teaching. Buddha Buddha, the holy body of Buddha, the holy body of Buddha was bathed in the Hirnavati river, water, ghee and coffee. The last rituals were done in Mukut Bandhan Chait Ramabahar. The relics were distributed to 8 kings by Drona in Kushinagar. So many events happened in Kushinagar, but Kushinagar is still, we need to develop more propagative. We need to people and say about the teachings of Buddha, about the happenings of Kushinagar, about the importance of Kushinagar. So we can fetch more and more tourists from all around the world. Already we have a Vipassana meditation center, but we have to encourage the Vipassana meditation more. We have to encourage yoga and more in this place. That is what I want to say. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Tarak. But just that your audio, the connection is probably you are having a low bandwidth. So probably I think that Himanshu intends to give a presentation, but he can rather speak switching off the camera because otherwise your bandwidth is very poor. So Himanshu, over to you.
Hello, am I audible, sir? Hello.
Yeah, you are audible, Himanshu. Please go on. Don't switch on your camera or share your presentation because your bandwidth is quite low.
Okay, sure. So, respected eminent panelists and my all dear participants, this is Himanshu. I'm going to shed some lights on the tourist spot in Kushinagar and around Kushinagar. So let's start with Buddha Ghat. Let's first talk about the importance of this ghat. On the bank of holy river Hirnavati, Buddha Ghat is situated. Around 2500 years ago, this Buddha drank his last sip of water from this ghat. After Mahaparinirvana, holy body of Tathagat Gautam Buddha was bathed by this river water, and last rituals of his holy body took place at Mukutbandhan Chapter, Ramabhat. Devotees take water of Hirnavati river from this ghat and keep at home for rituals. Now come to the present scenario. This place provides point in
Sorry, Himanshu, it's not audible because I'm sorry for intervening because your bandwidth is very poor and we can't hear you. So maybe we'll come back to you later. But for now, let me bring in a very honorable guest who's on the panel with us, Mr. S. Rajalingam, who's the District Magistrate of Kushinagar. And Mr. Rajalingam is 2008 batch IAS officer. And interestingly, before this, he was in the Indian Police Services belonging to the batch of 2006, after which he joined the Indian Administrative Services. His home state otherwise is Tamil Nadu, and his work state, of course, is now Uttar Pradesh. And these two, Mr. Rajalingam, I hope you know, these are closely competing states in tourism as per the tourist arrival statistics. So at times we have Tamil Nadu crossing UP, and at times we have UP crossing Tamil Nadu in the tourist arrival. So Mr. Rajalingam is a BTech in chemical engineering from NIT Trichy, and he has been educated and trained at the Syracuse University in the US. In his capacity of an administrative officer, he has previously served in the district of Banda, Deoria, Sultanpur, Sonbhadra, and in Ayodhya. May I request you, Mr. Rajalingam, to throw some light on investment opportunities in tourism and hospitality in Kushinagar. And also, as we have quite a renowned hoteliers and travel professionals today on this platform, it will be good to know what are the benefits one can expect for business persons when investing in Kushinagar and how the district is supporting the investors. Mr. Rajalingam, over to you now.
Thank you, Pratik ji, for that nice introduction. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, thank you. So the esteemed panelists, I'd start from Mr. Pratik and Mr. A.C. Mishra, Ms. Nyon Chen, and Mr. Tariq, Mr. Himanshu Shekhar, and Mr. Gaurav, and my colleague Puna Bora. And thank you for providing this opportunity to interact with eminent people associated with the tourism sector. As you rightly said in the beginning, about Kushinagar, very little is known to outsiders. Even I'm an outsider in that sense. Even after coming to UP, I knew very little about Kushinagar. We all have our own perception about places and sites, and maybe Kushinagar doesn't find a place which it should have otherwise, considering it's a very rich, the culturally rich, very intricate events in the last phase of Lord Buddha. And there are a lot of sites, and each site has its own significance, which can be promoted, and it has tremendous potential to be developed into tourist sites, which, as you said, to retain the tourists for at least 2 nights. There is tremendous scope. Now, coming to the accessibility part, it is well connected by road. Even from Delhi, the roads are very good. You can take the expressway till Lucknow, and from there you have a 4-lane connectivity. And as far as the train connectivity is concerned, of course, a proposal is underway, and the Honorable Chief Minister has already written to the Railway Ministry to connect Kushinagar directly. And right now, the nearest railway station is Devariya or Gorakhpur. So it takes half an hour from Gorakhpur to reach this place. And of course, air connectivity is concerned, the DGC approval, we have obtained that, and it's as far as infrastructure is concerned, everything is in place. Due to the pandemic, the proposed arrival of Sri Lankan Airlines was delayed, but it's only a matter of time. It will start. It can start anytime soon. So it is well connected by air, and of course we have put up a proposal. Mr. Roy and the Joint Magistrate and his team has also mentioned that we should have point-to-point connectivity with other Buddhist sites for the tourists who come to Bodh Gaya. They don't have any specific transportation medium by road, public transport. I mean public transport by which they can, from Bodh Gaya, they can come to Kushinagar, they stay here. Then from Kushinagar to Sarnath, Kushinagar to Kapil Vastu. That kind of proposal is also underway. I've already informed the government, and I was told that they will positively consider the proposal. So the point is, it is well connected, and tourists, after the pandemic, once the sector is open, people can come. And the second thing is the availability of a tourist-friendly environment, in which, as head of the administration, we have a larger role to play. How we are able to help the tourists to facilitate their stay, their experience, that we are working on it. And the hotels, there are some good hotels available. And the scope where we look at is, there is a tremendous scope for the budget hotels, especially when the family comes. an average middle class family, the affordability part, we have tremendous potential where in the hospitality sector, the budget hotels can come up in a large numbers. And there are adequate number of footfalls, which we have already started collecting data from the ASI, the number of people visiting there. And the affordability part. So right now, the availability of information is missing. This is what we are working on it. How to make the information available across the platforms through internet and at other tourist spots, and how to make it available so that people will come to know about the rich culture, the significance and the stories associated with Lord Buddha. Before coming here, even I was not aware. That's why I stress on these things. And once you get to know these things, then you'll be prompted to have a closer look. You will be prompted to stay here for maybe 2 or 3 nights also, because unlike other places, the historians who have already worked there, they know the trail from Bihar, how Lord Buddha traveled from Bihar to Kushinagar. And after attaining Parinirvana, the sequence of events and how what all led to how from this place the artifacts travel to different countries. So there are many micro sites, I would say, which has tremendous potential to be developed into interests for the tourists. And we are also focusing on how to involve the community in promoting this tourism, because their participation is also important. They should own this. And we are making them tourist friendly. How we can collaborate between the local community and their tourists. And as far as the investor-friendly policy is concerned, UP government has a very robust tourism sector-friendly policy, in which already the joint director had mentioned what all the capital investment subsidy available and what are other incentives available. And from administration side, we also facilitate anyone who comes here looking for any kind of investment, maybe in the hospitality sector or maybe in other sectors. We welcome them with we welcome them, and we will extend all possible support to them. We have also proposed a tourism police, the police dedicated only towards the tourists visiting them. They will not be the regular police on the lines of police which you can see in Agra and when the tourist visits Taj Mahal. So we have already proposed, and it is in the final stage. And once we get that also, the security part will be taken care of. It's not that there is any issue with the existing security, but we will have a tourist-friendly police also, who can not only help in providing security, but they can guide them also, and that will add to the experience of the tourists. And as the joint director mentioned, the light and sound show is in the advanced state, and all the required preliminary meetings have been conducted, and soon we can expect that the light and sound show will soon start. That will also add up to the experience of the tourists. So, and we have already started the beautification process in and around the sites. And we want to convert these sites into culturally rich activity center, where not only domestic tourists but also foreign tourists, they can have a feel of the local culture also. There is a small, we are developing the area in and around the Ramabar site. And apart from that, because a lot of spiritual tourists also visit there. To enrich their experience, we are developing the trail paths around the holy Hiranyavati river, where they'll have a trail path of 5 to 6 kilometers. We have already started the beautification process on the banks of river Hiranyavati. We are developing that meditation center, the Vipassana center. Already the World Bank project is underway. And the Kukutta river, which has its own significance, we are developing that also. So the meaning thereby is when we talk about Kushinagar, we only think about the Parinirvana Sthal. We visit the main temple, and there comes the end of the tour. But we want to give an enriching experience to the tourists, and for that, all the significance of the sites, the events has to be narrated to the tourists. So we are also planning to train the tourist guides, which is at the present they are not available. We can make use of the experience of people like Mr. Roy and some other scholars also. So we are working on that. So these are the things which we are doing now. To sum it up, I would say there is a tremendous potential now for the investment in the hospitality sector, number one. And there is a very friendly environment there. And yes, the monasteries of different countries, it adds up to the experience. Unlike in other Buddhist sites, I have been to Kapilvastu, I've been to Sarnath, but here you will get a very diversified experience. And I can assure you that I personally feel every site has its own vibes. Every city has its own vibes. If you visit a city, you can feel it. And here you can actually feel a very peaceful vibe in Kushinagar. And this I'm saying it out of my personal experience. And anyone who visits here, they watch for whatever I say. So it has tremendous potential, and we are looking forward to host the tourists once the pandemic is over. And we are doing whatever is required. There are some immediate interventions and there are some long-term interventions. We are working on the immediate interventions. We have also sent a lot of proposals to the government level. A lot of infrastructure projects are in the pipeline. Once this the international airport becomes functional, then that will add a lot of options for the tourists to come and see Kushinagar. So that's all from my side. I would like to thank Mr. Pratik for the interest and for providing the opportunity. I hope it will people will get to know Kushinagar. People will come in large numbers to Kushinagar. And thank you all the panelists for sparing their valuable time. And thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Rajalingam. Very pertinent points, I would say. And the takeaway for me from your entire conversation today is knowledge is the best motivator. And probably that's one thing that is lacking in case of Kushinagar to the outside world, even for the domestic tourist, I would say, because before I was shown around, I did not realize that Kushinagar had so much. And then this light and sound show, which is in the advanced stage, and cultural center, and the Buddha trail by the river, and the meditation center, all these things will add up to the experience. And surely, because people will have things to do in the morning, in the night, in the evening, during the day, so they will definitely have to stay more than one night. I mean, there won't be any way out. Road connectivity, fabulous. I traveled on this Gorakhpur highway, Lucknow to Gorakhpur. It's one of the fabulous roads, which can sort of, I can vouch for. And then why only Kushinagar? You kind of have two airports. So take Gorakhpur airport also in your kitty. So because it's not far from Gorakhpur, so it's a very rare opportunity that you have two airports, two international airports, I would say, so close by. So you can take advantage of both the airports. So it's a fabulous destination as what I have seen, and thanks to the district administration and the UP tourism that have been working day in and day out to make the tourist experience wonderful in Kushinagar. I can go back and try if Himanshu can come in once again, and if his bandwidth is okay. Himanshu, over to you. Can you continue now, please?
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, but don't share your screen because your bandwidth is still showing low.
Okay,
Please
okay,
go.
sure, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to set some focus on the tourist spot in and around Kushinagar. The first I have to take is Buddha Ghat. The importance of this ghat is on the bank of holy river Hirnavati. Buddha Ghat is situated. Around 2500 years ago, blessed Buddha drank his last sip of water from this ghat. After Mahaparinirvana, holy body of Tathagat Gautam Buddha was bathed by this river water, and last rituals of his holy body took place at Mukut Bandhan Chaitya, Ramabhar. Devotees take water of Hirnavati river from this ghat and keep at home for rituals. Now come to the present scenario. This place provides boating facilities. This place surrounded by beautiful parks for tourists. Children's park where parents with their children come and enjoy their natural freedom. This place has various beautiful selfies points. We have a river front in developing stage which will be operational soon. Now comes to the opportunities. In Bodh Gaya and Sarnath, there is a giant Gautam Buddha statue. Kushinagar also wants a giant beautiful statue of Lord Buddha. It will add another tourist attraction in Kushinagar. We will also create an artificial water lake because we have larger area present in and around. After doing so, we start different water sports activities in this area. There is also a concept of exhibition center here. We may also build an open air theater and amphitheater as well. A beautiful cafeteria is also needed. So these are the different opportunities that will present in and around Buddha Ghat. Let's come to second sport, that is Vipassana 1. The site is developed as Miyawaki design of forest. The site is ideal for excursion for students, group meeting, meditation. This is a beautiful place for holding an exhibition. Tourists can enjoy a short living hiking activities in this park. There are many opportunities, that is concept of mini zoo or bird sanctuary, and boating are present at this site. Now come to the Pavanagar, now called Fazil Nagar. Pavanagar, now called Fazil Nagar, is considered to be very holy site to visit. It is located on National Highway 28, about 22 km east of Kushinagar. This place is associated both with Buddhist and Jains. A beautiful Jain temple in remembrance of Swami Mahavir Digambar Jain has been established here. It contains a magnificent Mahastham and 4 artistically carried idols. Bhagwan Buddha also accepted here Shakar Mad, that is called green vegetation, from his disciple Chund on his way from Vaisali to Kushinagar. He spent a night in the Chunda's mango grove, where now a beautiful statue of Buddha is installed, and the site is connected to the main road. See the beauty of this destination. This is prominent for both Buddhism and Jainism. The present scenario is basic tourist facilities are in developing stage. There is a concept of meditation hall, which will soon to be operational along with boating. In this place, there are immense opportunities that I already mentioned at Buddha Ghat. We should replicate same concept here. Now come to the Kukutta River Ghat. The river flows through Malludi, that is 12 km east of Kushinagar. Lord Buddha after having his last meal in Pawa, Fazilnagar, near Chhatia village, started for Kushinagar. His sickness compelled him to rest on the bank of this river. He bathed on this river and drank water of this river, making it auspicious. Now come to the present scenario. One can visit this place, feel the pleasant surrounding, enjoy beautiful landscape. One can also do meditation, yoga, that is a part of wellness tourism. Now I am coming to our Sun Temple. The Sun Temple is situated on the Kasya Tamkuhi road at a place called Turkpatti, approximately 17 kilometers from Kushinagar. It is believed that the excavation carried out in the 4th, 5th, 8th, and 9th century found two statues of the sun god, which are currently lodged in the sun temple. The statues are made of black stones called Nilmani stone. The temple was built during the reign of Gupta dynasty. It attracts crowd of devotees on the 6th day of Kartik and 13th day of Falgun months, and also during festival of Janmashtami. But the question is, why this temple not attract tourists on an average day? The simple answer to this question is lack of branding. What I personally felt is tourists who camp to Kushinagar is roaming around only main temple and monasteries. I think there is some lack of branding. Someone should be there that guide tourists about Sun Temple. Even few years back, there was a concept of Sun Festival, but time passes, this festival also vanishes. So apart from general tourist amenities present in and around Sun Temple, care must be taken on branding of this historical Sun Temple. Now I am coming towards Sohagi Barwa Wildlife Sanctuary. This wildlife sanctuary is situated at a distance of 80 kilometers from Kushinagar on the bank of Narayani River. The habitat of Sohagi Barwa Wildlife Sanctuary are tiger, leopard, cheetah, bear, wildcat, wild boar, python, etc. There are plenty of flora and fauna found in this wildlife sanctuary. The present status of this wildlife sanctuary is that it is remained unexplored by many tourists or even people of Purvanchal. Last month, I visited there and found that the condition of approach path is not good due to heavy flood. I have to cross a nala which is a subsidiary of a river. Post driving 2 kilometers on this route, I will have to drop off the car as there is no bridge available to cross. Bikes can cross with a temporary setup made by the villagers. So when I went inside Sohagi Barwa, a guest house and a canteen well maintained by forest department was there. I must say that this wildlife sanctuary has immense potential to develop as a ecotourism, rural tourism, adventure tourism, and homestay hub. Immense potential for river rafting in Narayani River from Sohagi Barwa Wildlife Sanctuary to Tamkuhi Raj. Now come to the conclusion. So the point is, we should increase number of stay of tourists in this area by introducing a new tourism circuit connecting Kushinagar, Kakutta River, Fazil Nagar, Sun Temple, Sohagi Barwa Wildlife Sanctuary, and back to Kushinagar. This tourism circuit helps domestic and international tourists to explore nearby areas. In this way, tourists can experience religious tourism, ecotourism, rural tourism, adventure tourism, and homestay. It leads to economic as well as social development of this region. Thank you, sir. That's all about.
So that's fabulous, Himanshu, and a great eye-opener, wildlife sanctuary. So I did not know this, that I can approach a wildlife sanctuary from Kushinagar, which is a great piece of information for me. And you said that there are tigers and all that thing, for which India is known for. So I think a lot of documentation you have done and research is already underway and in Kushinagar. So now the point is that we need to have something in print and some kind of a promotional material on Kushinagar which can tell people about all the aspects of Kushinagar and bring out its all hidden nuances. So which is the most important, and I think the district administration and the UP government is working in that direction. So thank you, Himanshu, for your remarks, and thank you, Taritji. Though we could hear you in a very short kind of a conversation, but yes, that also gives me an idea to have a special webinar on Kushinagar in terms of bringing out all its nuances. And you can probably do that exclusively for FICCI in near future. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm equally honored and privileged to introduce you to Mr. Purna Bora, a 2018 batch IAS officer, presently posted as the Joint and Subdivisional Magistrate of Kushinagar. Earlier than this, he was with the Indian Revenue Services. And before that, for 2 years, he worked as a software engineer with Samsung India. He belongs to Assam. Purna is a BTech in Electronic and Communication from NIT Silchar. His love for Kushinagar is not a hidden fact and quite obvious too, just as we value our first love the most. Purna's first posting is Kushinagar, and he has been in love with this city since, and surely this love will continue, and he'll never forget his love wherever he goes. Mr. Bora is also the secretary of the Kushinagar Temple Area Management Committee and has done immense work in Kushinagar, teaming up with the district magistrate, Mr. S. Rajalingam, and other enthusiasts. Mr. Bora, from you, we would like to know all about the developments, the projects that are going on in and around Kushinagar, and having witnessed all of it myself, and most of it rather myself, and thoroughly being impressed by all of it, I would like you to tell us about this to our audience today. So, Mr. Purna Bora, over to you now.
First of all, thank you, Mr. Pratik Hiraji, for such a nice introduction. Respected DM sir, DM Kushinagar sir, under whom we are working on all the tourism related activities. Joint Director Tourism AC Misra sir, and Miss Nochan madam, and mostly you are welcome because you are joining from Thailand. We expect that more and more tourists comes from Thailand in coming days, as in when the COVID things goes down. And Himanshu and TK Roy, we closely work in Temple Area Management Committee for local development, and all the other panelists here and all the viewers in the internet. On behalf of Kushinagar people and Kushinagar District Administration, I sincerely appreciate Mr. Pratik Hiraji for his initiative to promote Kushinagar as a destination, tourist destination. On the invitation of District Minister Kushinagar, he visited once in Kushinagar, and after that, we are in touch, and we are working how to promote this beautiful place more and more. And thank you so much, Pratik Hiraji, and we hope that we would work more to promote Kushinagar. And regarding development of Kushinagar in tourist sector, I would say that most of the things already DM sir has said it. Two more things that I want to highlight are that two things that are most importantly needed for any tourist site, that is promotion, and that second is infrastructure. In promotion part, Kushinagar, we are now active in social media. We have dedicated Twitter account, Facebook account. Also, we have made local documentaries about Kushinagar that is available in YouTube, and we have made documentaries in 5 different languages: Thai, Sri Lankan, Sinhalese, Burmese, Tibetan language, Hindi, and English. So that all those are available in YouTube, so that more and more people can look and know about this place. Also, as you have Pratik sir have said, that to booklet to make all this information about facilities and about tourist spot in Kushinagar, we are making a booklet also, where everything is mentioned about that wildlife sanctuary that you have mentioned. One more wildlife sanctuary is there. It's very nearly 2 hours distance from here, Kushinagar. That is Balmiki Tiger Reserve. It's very beautiful place that is known for trekking, and one big dam there, and also you can have a homestay facility there. We are connecting that Balmiki Tiger Reserve and Sohagi Barwa Tiger Wildlife Sanctuary, which is located in Maharashganj district. So we are making a booklet, and soon we will be publishing that booklet for that would facilitate, that would help tourists to know more and more about this Kushinagar. Secondly, thirdly, we are online. We are registering more and more hotels from Kushinagar, because at present most of the hotels are not registered online. So we are working on registering hotels so that people can book hotels from outside itself, and that would help more. That would easy the process for tourists. And one more thing for promotion is that because of international airport, we are getting more footage about Kushinagar, and hopefully in coming future we will get more tourists because of that. And next, coming to development side, there are many things happening in development side. I say say that it is one of the most actively active place in terms of development, because there are many players in development, that is private players. Many private hotels are coming up. We have many good hotels at present, like Imperial Hotel, Hotel Radiance, Royal Residency, Lotus, Mete, Yas Residency, and two more 3-star hotels are already building has done already. It will operate soon. And recently Taj Group and Radisson and Jindal Group also visited here. They are also planning to start hotel facilities here. And especially to I would like to mention that Radisson Group and Jindal Group are opening one naturopathy center and resort here. The local administration is facilitating all the local infrastructure, like roads, connectivity to that place. Hopefully that would attract more tourists in near future. Second player is that local bodies. We are fortunate that both the tourist site, the Pawanagar and Kushinagar, are located in Nagar Palika area. So we have fund from Nagar Palika, which we can use for tourist development. So from in Kushinagar area, Kushinagar municipality are putting lots of fund for Hiranyavati riverfront development. We are like Lumbini model. We are making a riverfront project from the Nagar Palika fund. Similarly, in Pawanagar also, we are promoting that site, because initially most of the tourists used to come only for Kushinagar area. They did not go to Pawanagar site. So recently, almost most of the work has completed from Nagar Palika fund there. That we are promoting that in future, whoever comes to Kushinagar, they can visit Pawanagar, because that is very important site, because Lord Buddha had last meal there. So we are most of the development activities almost in completion stage. So in future, a tourist can go there. And one more important thing is that local connectivity. So like in Agra, we are ordering 6 electric buses, electric vehicle like golf cart, like in Agra, that whoever comes here, they can go to Pawanagar, they can go to wildlife sanctuaries that you have mentioned, and other tourist sites like Sun Temple. So those connectivity work will help more better stay in Kushinagar. Apart from that, as District Minister Sir has already said, we have sent proposal to Shashan to get more bus connectivity from Kushinagar to Bodh Gaya, Kushinagar to Sravasti, Kushinagar to Sarnath, so that whoever a foreign tourist or domestic tourist comes to international airport, they can take bus here and they can go to nearby sites. So this Kushinagar has a locational advantage, because it is in the middle of all the tourist sites. So whoever tourist comes here, they can take the bus connectivity here. They can go all other tourist sites, and they can come back here, and they can depart from this airport. So we have a new bus stand coming up. The work is almost complete. So those that bus stand would cater that the buses that we are talking about. Then one more important thing that I would like to say, we are promoting one trekking site, religious trekking site, because Hiranyavati river and Kukurtha river are two very auspicious river for Buddhist community. So on the bank of river Kukurtha, we are promoting a heritage walk, that is heritage trekking, that is around 5 kilometers amidst the jungle. That would be with all the signages and all the informations. That would help us to retain more tourists here. Apart from that, as Himanshu has said, we are planning for exhibition center, large statue, Buddha's theme park in the Maitri land. We have 194-acre land. We have sent a proposal to Sashan about for developing those things that Himanshu have said, like exhibition center, Buddhist theme park, large statue, cafe, etc. Also, one more important thing that I would like to highlight is that we are very much keen to open one Buddhist research center, because we want to keep all the folk stories here related to Kushinagar, or all the historical facts about Kushinagar. We want to deposit in terms of research activities and in terms of library. So in front of Ramabhar Stupa, we are renovating one place as research center. So whoever interested, foreign tourist or domestic tourist, wants to learn more about Buddhism or Buddhist site in Kushinagar, they can stay there and they can take the research activities. But other things like light and sound show, as District Minister Sir has said, we have sent a proposal for light and sound show, and hopefully in future it would start soon, very soon. These are all I would like to mention about Kushinagar in terms of tourist development, tourism related infrastructure development. And to conclude all, I would welcome all whoever watching this webinar to visit Kushinagar, because it's very wonderful site. You will feel very spiritual here. It's very peaceful site. You can come for yoga, meditation. We have a one private Vipassana center that hosts 2 sessions every month. Lagbhag around 100 capacity Vipassana center is already functioning. You can come for Vipassana, and one more Vipassana center is coming up from World Bank fund. Also, the Pathik Nivas Hotel, which is tourism department hotel, that is also being renovated from World Bank fund, which can cater a budget hotel act as a budget hotel for tourists. So that's all from my side, Mr. Pratik Hirazi. Thank you.
Thank you, Poorna. Fabulous points, and I'm really impressed by your point where you are doing documentaries in foreign languages, which is the most important thing for any destination. And I would also urge Mr. Misra, who's with us today from UP Tourism, that he should also be working on foreign languages and English documentaries more, if at all we want to attract through these documentaries foreign tourists. So, for example, Thailand is a big source market. So a documentary on Lord Buddha or Kushinagar in Thai language will be a great idea. And I'm really impressed by the kind of work that you all are doing in Kushinagar. So that is a very important point that you mentioned, Mr. Bora. So we have with us now a guest joining us from Thailand, which is one of the largest source markets, as I said, for Kushinagar, and actually for the entire Buddhist circuit, I would say. Khan Noon Chan Pintam, she is the president of NC Tours Enterprises Company Limited, a pioneer tour operator that largely promotes Buddhist circuit in India since the last 45 years now. And NC Tours is one of the Thailand's largest and most respected tour operators for India. Her company, NC Tours, sends about 800 tourists each year to Buddhist circuit, and the same number visits Kushinagar every year. I would request Khan Nunchan to please unmute your microphone and give your remarks. Nunchan, you can hold the phone in your hand and then unmute.
Ani.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Please go on.
Now you can hear me. Okay. Good afternoon, audience. Thank you, Mr. Patik Hira, for inviting me. I love Kushinagar very much. Compared to 45 years ago, when I first bring a group to Kushinagar, at that time it was no hotel, only Patik Niwat, only 5 small room Patik Niwat, no other hotel yet. Yes, but now Kushinagar improved a lot. I'm very happy. And today I hear that so many things going to happen in Kushinagar. I'm very happy. Can hardly wait to come. I hope COVID go away soon so we can come. When the first flight from Thailand start, I will charter flight to Kuchinagar. Let's see. I hope it comes soon from Thailand. No? Yeah. You said that why the people, especially I'm talking about Thailand, why Thailand stay in Kushinagar only one night? I just want to tell you that Thai people, Thai group, they do not like to travel long itinerary. But as you know, every city in Buddhist sector is very far away. Each day we travel about 5 to 8 hours by road every day. So not only Kuchinaga, any places we stay one night only, except Putakaya, because we land there, and so we get settled before we can travel to other place. So that's even that it take us 6 to 7 nights for our program. So if we try to increase more night in some places or in Kushinaga, it means that maybe 9 or 10 or 12 nights, very difficult to sell. Very difficult to sell. Maybe we can bring a few group a year, but those few group, you know, they have more time, they have more money. Yeah, a lot of people there, a lot of group that we bring, they have money. They said, Nuan Chan, you arrange for me Buddhist sector for 4 days, but complete 4 sector. We cannot do it. They said they're willing to pay any amount, but they don't have time. This is the problem. But you know that we cannot do for 4 days in all around 4 sector. So this is our problem in Thailand. That's why we cannot stay 2 nights in Kushinagar. But anyway, I do not refuse to stay 2 nights. I myself, I love to stay 2 nights in Kushinagar. We will try after today that I have heard that so many things will happen. So I will try to convince our group to stay 2 nights. And I have heard that there will be a big support from government of UP and from everybody, every people. So we will this coming year. I hope we can come in December. I hope in Thailand, COVID situation is very, very bad. So I hope by December or January we can start something. So as you asked me to give a suggestion to see what to see if they stay for 2 nights. Normally those main temple and you know, half-day tour is enough for normal tour. So if I have to arrange 1 more night, I would suggest, of course, Junda Stupa is very important, but since they stay 1 night, so they have no time. So if we stay 2 nights, we have time to go to Junda Stupa. And of course, the Junda Stupa is not very clean. It needs more, they need to look after more in those places. Yes. And I found that on the way back, Garcia village market is also very nice, very interesting. For people, they normally go shopping in Bodh Gaya or in Varanasi. It's a big city, but I think the Garcia village market is something different that I think we can sell to our people, because the village daily life of village people is there, and there's something to buy. Thai people, they like shopping. Oh, anything, anything they can buy. Sari, dress, souvenir, and fruit. Yeah, there they have a lot of fruit. So I think that we can make a stop there if we stay 2 nights. Then another thing that I like my people, Thai people, to visit is a museum. The museum right there is very, very nice museum. It's right on the main road, but all of the tourist bus pass by. Nobody stop. Nobody visit museum. I feel so sad. I feel so sad. It is inside. It's very interesting. Is 3rd century BC, during Ashoka period. Those Buddha statue during Ashoka period, 2,300 years ago. I want the people to see, and a lot of the statue from Gupta period. That is 1,500 years ago, and a lot to see. But the museum itself is not clean. I think you have seen the museum, no? You have visited, no? The museum itself not clean, so not people, they don't want to go, and not clean, and not good light. It's dark, not lighting, and there no guide to explain. We need some guide to explain for all of those. If they just go around by themselves, they don't know that those are 2,000 years old and 1,500 years old. So we need a guide to explain, at least, just like in other museums that they have a guide. And I would think that if I were the owner of the museum, I would make a good poster in front of the building, and make it more attraction. So when the people pass by, every bus, they have to pass by, but some of the people, they did not know that the museum is there. So to make it attraction to the tourists, so they can see, museum is here. And the entrance, the entrance of the museum, make it nice and more attraction, with a flower, with a garden, make a nice garden, nice flower, and big sign. Yeah, if it were my museum, I like to share with the museum in Bodh Gaya and Saranath. No, not Bodh Gaya and Nalanda, which is also small museum, but they make it very nice. Very nice. So we can compare with those in Bodh Gaya and Saranath, not to compare with in Bodh Gaya and Nalanda, not to compare with Saranath, which is international standard. We don't compare with them. I do not expect that much. Yeah. So beside museum, that I want the people to see, another place. If I pronounce it wrong, Mata Baba, okay, Mata Baba or Mata Babaki, which is part of the main temple, and when the government they build the road, so they divide those two places to make this Mata Babaki small. Actually, this place is, we can tell them a lot of things, a lot of story to tell, if they have time to go. But the reason the people do not stop to go, because the the Black Buddha. Oh, I want to tell you, Black Buddha here more beautiful than Black Buddha in Nalanda. You know how very popular Black Buddha in Nalanda in Thailand. A lot of Black Buddha because they copy from there because it's very spiritual to them. But here, if they see Black Buddha here, is more beautiful than Black Buddha in Nalanda. But very sad because the Black Buddha here, they kept locked in a small building, and that building, it doesn't good looking, not welcome to tourists, to anyone to visit. It just locked, kept it secret like that. So if the government can do something with this Mata Papaki and make the surrounding nice and good looking, because it's right there. Everyone see it, but they do not know what it is. I think this is a very important place that people will like it to visit. Another, I want to mention here, to renovate the building to keep the Black Buddha. If the government allows the people to do, I mean, the donation is very easy. Everybody want to do donation to help to make a nice building, nice temple for Black Buddha. So I hope government will hear me that I can help to find the people to donate to make the building. Yes, and another thing that I like to mention is if one can contact the temple in Kushinagar. You know, there are many beautiful temples, like Thai temple, oh beautiful. You know, Chinese temple, Japanese temple, and Burmese temple. Oh, big pagoda, beautiful. You know, like in Puthakaya, we arrange international temple tour, 3 hours, for 3 hours. And everyone, when they visit the temple, naturally they make donation, they give donation to those temple. It's good for both sides. So, but you need to arrange, somebody have to speak to each temple and inform them that to welcome tourists and have a guide. The man who look after the temple or that room that open for temple, they can also explain, like in Buddha. I think you have been there. So that there are many things to see, but in the past we have never visited them because we don't know how to contact them. Those temples are very nice to see. At least 3 hours to visit those temples. And I was talking about new airport. Oh, I'm so exciting about new airport. If the airport come, not only 2 nights in Kushinagar, there will be 3 nights, 5 nights, or 7 days in Kushinagar. You know, Thai people, they come to Buddhist sector. Some people, they come 70 times, 70 times, not one time in their life. They repeat customer. My company, we have so many repeat customer. They come every year. So when they come, when after they complete the Buddhist sector, they can stay in Kushinagar alone, not going anywhere, just do meditation in Kushinagar. It's very nice there. Hotel is good, food is good, and the place is good. No need to go other place. So they can stay 5 days, 7 days, just like in Puthakaya. People come to Puthakaya only. They don't go any place because they have been to many places. So they stay in Puthakaya because the flight is there. It's convenient. So if there is a flight to Kushinagar, I'm sure people will come to Kushinagar for 5 days, 7 days for sure. Yeah, and I like to I like to bring to your attention my opinion. I think the big market is Tibetan pilgrim. In January, February, thousands of Tibetans come to Buddha Gaya. How can you think of do something to bring them to Kushinagar? Of course, they do not spend much money, but it keep the place holy. Keep the place holy, and the people say, "Oh, a lot of people come to Kushinagar. It's good for Kushinagar." So I think this also good for asking why people stay one night. If Tibetan come, they stay 4, 5 nights, 10 nights. Yeah, of course, you get both, no? You don't have to get first class customer. You get first class customer, you can get some economy class customer. One last thing I want to mention to you is Thai temple. We have a festival in March. Have you heard? In March, we have festival every year. And you know, we have more than 500 people come. I come every year for this, and I have about 10 groups every year. So we make booking the hotel. When this March finish, we make booking for next year March. Otherwise, no room. All hotel full. Not even all temple. Every temple, big or small temple, full because of our people, our Thai people. 500, more than 500 people come, and minimum night is 2 minimum, 2 night to 5 night. Yeah, because the ceremony itself is take 3 days ceremony. So minimum one have to stay 2 nights. So this, the reason I mentioned this, I think is a good for Kushinagar. If you can encourage other temple, other country to do the same, but not in March and not the same day because there's no room. Then every month you can have some other people come from other country and fill up the city. I think this is good for you. Thank you very much.
Nunchan, very, very candid views and comments, which were, I think, most important on this panel. So that was the reason we brought you in the end, so that everybody goes back with some homework to do. And your comment about the museum is, I think, well taken by the district magistrate. And I must tell you that Mr. Purna Bora is the in charge of Garcia. So, which is the market that you mentioned. So I'm so excited that you like the market, and even I appreciated the market a lot, and it can be a great crowd puller for people to come. Regarding hotels, we need to sort of, as I said, that like we treat both the airports as kind of, Gorakhpur should also become a feeder airport for Kushinagar. Wherever we don't have flights from Kushinagar operating, we can use Gorakhpur airport. Similarly, we can use the hotels in Gorakhpur, which is just a 1 hour drive from Kushinagar to Gorakhpur. So you have some good hotels there like Radisson and the Marriott. And,
yes.
Coming up. So it's again the lack of knowledge and proper dissemination of knowledge that is not happening in the international markets. And festival, yes, I know about this festival that happens in the Thai temple, and all the temples can do a kind of a festival encouraged by their own temple committees and supported by the district administration, the UP tourism, and it can be a good crowd puller, and it will definitely increase the room nights for Kushinagar. So I think on the whole, we have had a great session and on Kushinagar today. But we, of course, ought to see Kushinagar as an example of how tourism is being best developed at micro level. So the reason of having Kushinagar and not entire Buddhist circuit, because we wanted to see how the government and how the local administration is working so hard for a destination. And that's how actually the tourism works. You have to see it at a micro level and not at a sort of a larger level, which people think of. And it makes a huge difference. It's picking up, they are picking up tourism as a driver of growth and development of a destination. So I would say it's an apt example how the state of Uttar Pradesh is seriously thinking at the ground level, and the vision is percolating not only to the districts, but also to the subdivisions, tehsils, and villages in and around destinations. Ladies and gentlemen, we have already run out of time, so now I am privileged to propose a vote of thanks for today's session on behalf of the Government of Uttar Pradesh, Department of Tourism, MKITM, and FICCI. I first of all thank Mr. Mukesh Meshram, the Principal Secretary and the Director General Tourism, Government of Uttar Pradesh, for his support and vision to see UP as an attractive tourism state for domestic and international tourists, and to initiate this mega series of webinar. I'm sorry that he couldn't be with us today because he had to travel to Mau, which is another place that he looks after. And earlier than that, he has a meeting with the Chief Minister, which he had to attend. So, but always he makes it a point in each of the webinar to be present personally. We are thankful to Mr. S. Rajalingam, the District Magistrate, Kushinagar, and Mr. Purna Bora, the Joint Magistrate, Kushinagar, and SDM. And I must mention here that these are the two officers who ignited my personal interest in Kushinagar, and this would be just the right platform to commit FICCI's support for Kushinagar in all aspects. And FICCI is ready to partner with Kushinagar District Magistrate, the District Administration, Temple Committee, the local travel and hospitality, trade, and the Department of Tourism, Government of Uttar Pradesh, for the development of Kushinagar as a world-class destination by bringing in investments in tourism and hospitality. I'm also indebted to Mr. Avinash Chandra Mishra, the Joint Director, UP Tourism, who stands for anything and everything in tourism for the state of Uttar Pradesh, and he has been very patiently listening and noting down all the comments, and I'm sure this webinar will make a difference. And I must mention that the government, we are preparing a kind of a paper based on all these series of webinars, the comments that we are receiving from all the panelists, which will be submitted to the Government Department of Tourism for further actions and taking it in their things. And Khan Nunchan Pintam, if I pronounce it right, Khub Khun Kha, thank you for being here with us, for joining us from Thailand and sharing your candid views on this subject. The moment flights open, I, on behalf of FICCI, invite you to Kushinagar on the maiden flight, the first flight that flies from Bangkok that will land in Kushinagar. I promise that you will be on that flight to Kushinagar. And by the way, I take this liberty to also announce here that we will host you in Kushinagar and would like to work very closely with you to make Kushinagar a 2-night destination. Thanks to Tarit Kishore Roy for sharing your knowledge with us. And I must mention here that soon we will have an exclusive destination knowledge webinar on Kushinagar, and we will then benefit from your first-hand knowledge on Kushinagar. I'm sorry for the technical glitch that you had at your end, and your views were not clearly audible to us. But of course, we'll compensate for that in the next webinar. And of course, to Himanshu Shekhar, who coordinated today's webinar on behalf of Kushinagar and was a bridge between FICCI and the district administration of Kushinagar. A very special thanks to you, Himanshu. I must also thank Dr. Anushri Banerjee, the publication officer, UP Tourism, for coordinating this entire series on behalf of the UP government and the Department of Tourism, Government of UP. Not to forget our own FICCI team, Mr. Manish Ahuja, Amit Gupta, Samanda, Chetan, Gaurav, and Divjot Anand for making each of these webinars every week a thorough success. And of course, to the wonderful audience that had joined us is still with us on the platform, which means that they have enjoyed it thoroughly on Zoom, WebEx, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter platforms of the Government of UP and FICCI. Before we part, I would like to remind you that next Friday, on the 10th of September at 3 p.m., we'll bring you yet another, rather last session of this webinar series. So do mark your diaries and do join us then. Thank you once again to all the panelists and all the audience. Thank you.
Thank you.